a few things to cover today, so I'm gonna sort of not rush through these, but these will be done quickly. So get your heads on, and we're going to be doing some high intensity training, I suppose, because it's going to be quick, and you'll need to get engaged to listen in. So we're going to be covering adding widgets for a quick and simple view to a dashboard. This is all about dashboards today. We covered reports 2 weeks ago. We're going to add in the user filters so you can see how that segments it. We're going to add your reports in that we created 2 weeks ago to see your in-depth data. We've done the hard work on the reports. And then we're going to create some personalization, adding some images and embedding some forms and making it a little bit more dynamic. And then finally, I'm going to show you the sharing options. So that way, you may be going to a meeting or you want to share it on a big screen with your team, or indeed share it in CRM or something like that. And then we're going to cool down with our interactive Q&A for the final 10 minutes. So without any further ado, let's dive straight in. So we're going to go back to Zoho Analytics. For the new people around, we covered some of this last time. So to find analytics, you've got a couple of options. If you just want to go straight to it, then go to analytics.zoho.com. From Zoho One, you will choose Zoho Analytics. And from CRM Plus, it will be enabled by your administrator on the panel down the left-hand side. So the 3 ways will allow you to go to it. Obviously, if you're in the EU data center, then substitute .com for .eu, and you'll be fine. Okay, so today we're going to create a new dashboard. So click on Create, and last time we covered the chart view, pivot view, summary view, reports, and this time we're going to create a dashboard. So you can see the option there, click on Create and click on Dashboard, and that will bring up the drag and drop editor. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in some very simple widgets. So to do that, you can see at the top here on the navigation, we've got add widget, add text, and add image, and the dashboard title and save. So let's add our widgets first of all. So we're going to talk about our deals. Let's go here. So we're going to add in a widget, and I'm going to add in the very simple first one. And as normal, these are wizard driven, so they're pretty straightforward. So we're going to choose the very simple one, which displays a label and a value. And that's the default one that's selected. And the data column we're going to use, we want a count of the deals. So we're just going to go to the deal name and choose count. So you choose the field and choose the count. And then once you've done that, again, you can just click on apply and let's see the result. So right now it's given us deal name and account. So this is actually the number of records that's in my data. It's 500 records. Now the thing to do here at this point is what I want to do is I want to show open deals, closed won deals, and closed lost deals as 3 widgets across this top banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, 3-dot it, and duplicate, and then duplicate again. So now I've got 3 widgets that are exactly the same. Now we can use our drag and drop to place them on the same row. And you don't have to do it level because there's this neat feature where if we select all 3, we can then go fit to width. So once you've selected all 3, it's going to show those widgets across in a neat format. So now we want these 3 widgets to show the differences. So let's start by applying some filters. So click on the edit, and then in the second tab along, you'll see the filters. So let's click on the filters, and in the same way we did with the report builder, we can choose the field that we want to filter on. So let's select stage, and in this one, we're going to start with our open deals. So we're going to include initial meeting, negotiation, proposal, and qualification. And you can see there included items are the records that are in this stage. And let's click on apply. So now we've got 3, 3, 4 there. This should total 500 across the piece when we've added the filters. Let's edit this one. And this filter is going to be stage, but this time closed won, and apply. So it's 82. And this one, we're going to edit it. And we're going to go with stage is closed lost, and apply. So now we've got our totals across, which total 500. So we're counting every single record. But we now want to differentiate between the 3. So a really simple way of doing this is to edit it. And when we now go to the settings tab, you'll see here that the label defaults to the deal name, which is the field name, sorry, and then the label, which is the count. So deal name count is what it defaults to. But we can just overwrite this with open deals and apply. And then change this one to our closed won deals. And then finally edit this one to our closed lost deals and apply. So now we've got our counts across all three, open, closed, and closed won and closed lost. But now we can make it a little bit more visual. So let's edit this, and we're going to add a kind of traffic light system to it. So our open deals, we're going to display as, let's go with red. No, actually, let's go with amber, sorry. So we'll click on amber, and you can choose custom colors to make it more amber. There we go. So custom, and you can also change the text style if you want to as well, but I'm not going to change that. We can increase the, there we go, you can increase it to 20 for the text size and so on. We'll keep it at that, it's fine. And click on apply. So now we've got our amber, and then we're going to click on edit here for our closed one, and we're going to make this green, and also change this to 20 and apply. And then our closed lost is a big red, so we're going to change that to red and also change this to 20 and apply. So now we've got a traffic light widget system which shows open, closed, and lost, which is a real good start for adding these widgets. So let me just now start to save this. So we're going to call this our 1 hour workout live dash. And we could choose the folder, I covered that last week, the session before, so let's save it. Okay, so we've now saved our dash, and let's just hop into view mode. So we switch from edit to view mode throughout. So when we go into view mode now, it's very, very simple. It takes out all of the editing features, and we can see 1 hour live dash, open, closed, and won. Now let's go back first of all. So the second part, that's adding some widgets. Let's go to our element, adding some widgets. Now the next part I want to show you, because this applies to this, is adding in user filters to segment your dashboard. And this is where it gets really, really neat. So we want to be able to separate out now our open, closed won, and closed lost deals by our salesperson. So what we can do is we can add in user filters into the top section of the dashboard. And this is where it gets powerful. So this is where we want to add a user filter for the salesperson. So add in the salesperson user filter and it will appear here. When you edit this filter, you'll be able to see that we can choose single salespeople or multiple. And I'm going to keep it at single for now and then come back and change that. Let's click on OK. And now let's go to view mode. So in its simplest sense, we've got our widgets here, open, closed, and lost. But what we want to do now is filter it down by salesperson. So let's see what happens when we change it to Adora. It's going to change the statistics, 47, 13, and 15. So when we're in a meeting now, we can go through the sales team and say, okay, Adora, can you tell me about your 47 open deals? Cecil, you've only got 35. Alicia, let's talk about your 12 closed lost. So we can now filter it down by the salesperson live in the sales meeting, which is a really effective way of doing it. Okay, let's go in and edit that. And let's also add in another user filter for the closing date. And I want to show you how this works as well with the date. So let's save that one. And go back into view mode. So now we've got two user filters. We've got all of our salespeople, and we've also got a closing date. Now the default option for closing date is a date selector. So we can say, right, we want to go back to 2nd of March 2020 to today. Okay, so a date selector, and click on go, and that will filter the deals down. Don't forget, we can also change the salesperson. So we want to know what the salesperson has done from this date to this date. But actually, I want to do this differently. I don't want to have a closing date and have to choose a date each time. I want a relative period. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And at the same time, I'm going to show you how to select multiple salespeople with these user filters. So let's go back and edit the design. And first of all, with the salespeople, I'm going to change this to a multi-select box. And that's going to allow me to choose more than one salesperson. So for instance, if we've got a team of salespeople, we'll be able to select that particular team. And click on OK. And the closing date, I'm going to edit that. I'm going to change it to a relative period. This is one we use quite frequently. So a relative period allows us to choose things like this year, previous year. And if I want to add in last 3 years, but also add a new range, just like we did with our reports, the last 2 years, and add, then that will add the last 2 years, last 3 years, previous year, and this year. We can also be a little bit more intricate and go this month, previous month, last 3 months, last 6, and we can add new ranges there as well. So we've now added all the relative periods that we want in this box, and click on OK. And now let's just save this. And go back to view mode. And now you can see everything's as per. But with our salespeople, we can say we don't want all, we just want to see Elberty, Anne Finley, and Alicia this time. Click on OK, and it will filter the data. And then we also want to say, but we only want to see the data for the last 3 years. So again, it's going to reset the widgets to that information. So you can see how powerful this simple method is of creating some very, very simple widgets, and using user filters may be enough, you know, in terms of creating a statistical dashboard. And you know, that will give us the ability to, you know, 5 minutes of a job to create this type of environment. Let me just show you another capability as well. So what we're going to cover here is I'm just going to personalize it a little bit with some text. So what we can say is if we add in text, and here we're going to put in our deal pipeline, and I'm going to center this. So align center, and let's increase the text size to 24. And I'm going to insert that into here and then move it up. So now we've got our deal pipeline, but actually what you might then do, interestingly, you can't duplicate these, unfortunately, so you have to add another one. Let's do our account information. And I'm going to very quickly rattle through this for you. So let's center this and make it 24. And we're going to insert that one. So we've now got our deal pipeline and our account information. And I'm going to add a widget, which again is a simple one. And the data column is going to be our account revenue and the sum, and apply. Whoa. So the account revenue is going to pop in here. And then if we, in fact, let me remove that one. Let me do it with deals again. So add widget, told you things, live system. So we're going to go with data column is the amount. And we'll go with the average amount. That's it. So apply. So do that. And then same again. I'm not going to color these ones, but I'm going to duplicate them. So select all three, make it the width. And then when we go in and change our filters, so this one's going to be for open. So stage is initial, negotiation, proposal, and qual. Apply. And this one is going to be for stage, close one, and apply. And this one is close lost, and apply. So now this isn't really account information, this is deal amounts. Okay, so there we go. What I'm trying to show there is that we've got deal pipeline and deal amounts, and then the open, closed, and closed lost. We could change the labels, but you remember how to do that. And then save. And then go back to our view mode. And now we've got the totals for everybody. But if we change it to just Cecil and also previous year, let's change that to Cecil. Okay, then it will show the deal amounts just for Cecil and the open, closed, and lost. So you can see just by using these widgets, it's very simple to create those dashboards. Okay, so that's it on the widgets one. Let me just start to extend this a little bit. So we've covered widgets and I've covered basic user filters. I'm now going to add in those reports that we did last week. or in the last session, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? So to do that, go into the edit mode, and all of your reports that you've created. So we created the account revenues across the globe, the account summary, all deals, forecast, these reports. We can now just simply drag and drop them into the dashboard. Now, the interesting thing, or what we want to watch out for, is it will auto add the user filters. Now, what that means is that if there's a user filter in these reports, is it will add it to the dashboard user filters on here as well. So bear in mind, if you're adding lots of reports to your dashboard, you will end up with lots of user filters. So you can review them afterwards. You can remove them. It's no problem. So let's start to drag these in now. So first of all, let's create a header. So we're going to add a text, and we're going to go with business reports. And again, let's use our standardization. So we're going to center this, and we're going to make it 24, and we're going to insert it. So we've got our business reports header, and we're going to bring in the first one and drag it to the place we want to drag it to. And this is the one with the geolocation. So it's taking some time to load, but you can see it's got the heat map on the geolocation. And we'll also go bring in the forecast and the salesperson by month and the salesperson by product. That's the heat map. And then all deals and the account summary. So now what we've done is we've brought in the reports that we created last week. So if I show you, let's save our dashboard. And let's go back to our reports and click on our salesperson by month. Then you'll remember that we created this this visual chart which shows each of the salespeople and their deals that they brought in by month. It's simply this report that's been dragged into the dashboard. So on our 1 hour workout dashboard, you can see that salesperson by month is represented by that report. So when that report changes, it also changes in the dashboard. Now, these ones here are quite small. So what we need to do is we need to start to adjust them a little. So what you can do is you just click on the one and then start to drag these out. There's a handy feature as well here, show grid. So you can actually map it onto grid squares if you want to get it super accurate. So let's start make our big map in the middle so we can see it a little bit better. And also we like this report to be a little bit longer. So when you've got the select tool on, it's multi-selecting there. We can get rid of that. So you then get the drag tool. Let's drag this one across. And let's take this one. And we're also going to bring this here and drag this across. And then the account summary is going to be at the bottom because that's got the most data in it. So again, just check the one. And you can drag up and down as well. So we can start to see those totals. Okay, and save your dash. It's going to take more and more time as you build it up. Let's put it into view mode now. And let's see our results. So it starts off with our widgets that we've created. You can see that user filters have been added from the reports, just like I explained. And then we've got our account revenues across the globe in the forms of the geolocation map. We've got our salesperson by month. We've got all deals, which is a standard pivot table report, and you can navigate within the dashboard itself, and you can also maximize it. So you can maximize and minimize it out of the dashboard. Or you can pop it out in its own window in a new tab. You've got the heat map. So again, if we wanted to open this in a new tab or just maximize it, then we can view it out and minimize it. We've now got the full length forecast and the account summary at the bottom as a standard report. Our user filters, so if we say actually we only want to see, let's pick on Leora this time, we only want to see Leora's data, it's going to adjust it for everything. So you can see it's clearly adjusted it for our widgets, the deals and deals amounts, but now we can see Leora's view across the globe and Leora's salesperson by month, so we can see just her stats, all of her deals across the quarters, the heat map for each of the products, her forecast, which is a little more shakier, and then her account summary. And then if we say, actually, we want to change the closing date to just the previous year, then it will again change the heat map. So in the previous year, she only worked in Poland here. Oh, sorry, some other places, Rio, and I don't know where that is. And some salespersons, sorry, the previous year is shown in the forecast, or the salesperson by month, and so on. So the user filters are affecting all of the data in the dashboard, which is just really powerful. And then we're going to change this to just show us CRM. So we're only looking at Leora for the previous year and only CRM. And it's really going to strip the data right down now. So it really is just focused in Mido. And we can now see that actually it's just one closed one deal, which for the previous year by Leora for CRM was one closed one deal worth $33,000, and it was here, and so on. So we've been able to do that just with our user filters and the building of the dash, and then start to import some of our reports. Okay, let's go back and edit the design. And I'm now going to start to create some more personalization in here. So let's show you some of the elements we can do. So what we can do is we can start to add in some images. So when you start to add in images, we can upload those from local, or you can link to a URL if it's hosted on a website. So I'm going to choose an image, and I've got a couple of images here where I want to compare some stats. So the first one, let's pick that up. And you'll see now that we've got small, best fit, original, or fit to width. Now, I tend to use fit to width if we want to put it in our dashboard. So choose fit to width and then insert it. And here you'll see a screenshot from Duncan and I's workout from last night on our virtual racing platform. So let's see if we can compare these stats. So now we've inserted the image. What I want to do is we want to adjust this one. So let's just drag it across like this. This is right down at the bottom. And then we can add another image. And this time we'll choose that one. And we'll fit that to the width. And click on Insert. And then let's adjust that one down. And we can drag them side by side like we did with the others. With this one, you can't actually do the multi-select. That's only on the actual dashboard, the widget feature, which is a bit of a shame. So you have to kind of adjust these ones manually. But you can use the grid feature to do it. That one's slightly bigger, actually. That's why that's happening. There we go. So now we've got, what we've done is we've imported in some images from just basic offline images. So when you're doing the presentation style for the dashboard, it's not just about the data that you're dragging in from your data. You may also have some presentation images. So let's click back onto view mode and see what that looks like. Again, these take a little bit longer to parse each time. So now we've got our deal pipeline, so on and so on, and then the images down the bottom. And another use of these is that if we want to add in a header, let's go back to edit, and we're going to add in an image. And this time I'm going to choose the 27 one and open. And then I'm going to fit to width again and insert this image. So this is our sales header, and I want this to be right at the top of the dashboard. This scrolling now is, there we go, it's going. Okay, great. So we want this to be just above our deal pipeline, and then save it. So now it's starting to look a little bit more like a presentation. So view mode. So now we've got our no frills tour management sales dashboard, and then the dashboard starts. So you can see that the insert of images is really quite useful. There's also another little hidden feature on the add text one, which I'm going to show you as well, which is really quite useful. So if we want to make this report a little bit more dynamic, for instance, submitting some data, then you can include or embed some elements in there. So let's just show you that. So if I go add text, you'll see here we've got insert HTML. So I can insert HTML from somewhere. Now the simplest example I have is from Zoho Forms. So here we've created a simple Zoho form, which is just to enter a deal name and a closing date. And then I'm going to choose share, and I'm going to choose the embed option, and I'm going to get the iframe. So let's just copy this here, and then go back to analytics and insert HTML, and insert the iframe, and then insert that, and it will bring up the iframe for Zoho Forms, and then we can insert that into our dashboard, and then move it to size. So let's just say it's going to be this particular size, and then again save this. And go back to view mode. And so now when we're actually using the form along with our images, we've also got the ability to add in a new deal. So CRM deal, and the closing date is going to be the end of the month, and we're going to submit. And it says, thank you, your response has been submitted. And obviously that can then go back into the statistics if you so wish. So it could be a CRM form, or it could be Zoho Forms integrated with the CRM, but ultimately it's going to affect the stats. So what you could envisage is that really your users are just operating from the dashboard and adding new deals in from the dashboard using a simple Zoho form, or even a complex one. It doesn't have to be simple. It could be as much as you make it, but literally you can embed the HTML into the form. Okay, so hopefully that's given you an idea. Let me just go back to edit mode. Okay, so creating personalized dashboards with images, and what I want to do for the personalization is just one other thing. So back into view mode, and here you'll see the themes option when you're in view mode. So click on themes, and you've got the ability to take it from a plain white into something a little bit more exciting. Dark mode seems to be the order of the day these days, so we switch to dark mode, and then even brighter we can switch to a full multicolor theme. So that's now selected it, and click on the exit, and then when we view it now, it's now in full dark mode. And also you'll notice you've got the ability to customize it. So if you wanted to go in and customize it to your own custom colors, company colors, then you can change the hex codes to go in and change it to your own custom colors. Okay, super stuff. So now we have a really cool looking dashboard in dark mode, complete with our images and our form submission over here to add another response. Righty, so now let's talk about sharing your work. So back to the dash, and we've now created our super duper dashboard. We now want to share it with the wider world, or with specific users. So we've got this option here to share. So when we click on share, we can share this view. And the first option is to email it out. So it's going to email it out and share the actual dashboard view with our other Zoho users. So this is really for your colleagues. You know, it's to keep it internal, and just like the normal Zoho world, that will keep it secure. So it won't go anywhere else apart from entering the email address. And when you go to pick users, it will actually bring up your contacts from your CRM, or from Office 365, or whichever details you've shared in Zoho Analytics. We can also make this view public. So that's going to bring up this embed publish URL. And under here, we've got a bunch of options. So we've got access this with a login, which will be for your other Zoho users. We've got access without a login. So this will make it available on the wider internet. And also access within the organization. So this is for everyone in your analytics organization, or everyone in your Zoho organization if you're Zoho 1, or public on the web. But what we're going to make it is access without a login. And here we can set an access password and also set an expiry. So as you're making it without a login, it will be a private URL with a massive long key, so it's not searchable and nobody can find it. But to add extra security to it, you can set an access password and also an expiry, which I do advise if you're sharing company data, it's not advisable to share it on the internet in an open link without putting these things on there. But as this one is just purely fake data, we're going to go access without a login and click on OK. And then it will bring up this these options here where we can have it as a link or as an embed option with the iframe. So you can embed it onto an existing website. But we'll stick with the link. And then our options allow us to include title and description. We can also put in social widget shares if we want it to go even wider. A good example of that one is actually Zoho doing their COVID-19 analytics dashboard based on Zoho Analytics, which is well worth having a look at actually because it uses this technology in the open data for COVID. We can include the toolbar as well. And then you've also got an auto refresh of which the minimum is 2 minutes. So the minimum is 120 seconds, but you can increase that from 120 seconds should you wish it to be refreshed every 5 minutes or even daily or something like that. There's also some additional ones here. So if you only want to show data where, for instance, well, the example given here where the employee department is finance and the salary is over 9 grand, then it can filter the data down specifically for this URL. Okay, so once we've done that, you can then copy this URL and we're going to paste that into an open browser. And what I'll also do is I'll pop that into the chat facility so you can have a look at that as well. So let me send this message to everybody. Okay, so you should be able to see that dashboard using the link that I've just posted in the chat. So in other words, we've shared that data with everybody, including the filters, including the images, just including everything that you could see, including the form and everything else. So it's been made instantly accessible to the wider world by doing that method. So let's close this. The same can be achieved by clicking on the URL permalink. So this brings up the same platform, just in a simpler format. So here we've got access permission, access without login, and it will bring up the same details. Okay, so that's a pretty simple one. The next one I want to show you is sharing by email. So we can share email and we can email it as a piece of HTML. So you go into the browser and enter the HTML or enter the address. The more common one is sharing the layout as in a dashboard, so sharing the PDF. So let's just take a look at that. We can email the layout, so save it. Let's go save. It really is taking its time now with the elements that we've built into it. So share email and share the layout as a dashboard. And it will bring up this prompt box that gives us the from, which is our demo one, our to address, which could be any email address. It gives us a subject of check it out, but you can change that if you want to. And then hi, check out the live dash, attach this email. So it's got a basic template which you can go in and add amends. And then you can send it. So simply enough, you can send the link out to the dashboard out to anybody. The more interesting part is when you click on schedule email, and we can schedule the email to go out daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. So in this case, if it was a weekly sales report and you had a sales meeting, say at 2 p.m. on a Friday, then you could click the weekly one, select Friday, and send it out at 1 p.m. So at 1 p.m., an hour before the meeting, you send out the very latest stats to everybody. So it was sent weekly at Friday at 1 o'clock. So everybody gets a copy of the latest stats. So this gets rid of this problem where you're creating a PowerPoint and then sharing it, and then you go to the meeting a week later and it's out of date. Everybody gets the dashboard at 1 p.m. An hour before the meeting. And then when you click on Save Email Schedule and you've got the email address, it will then set up that schedule for you. Okay, and then the final way of sharing, if we click on the slideshow, then we can create a slideshow. And again, we can choose access permission for with or without login. Let's choose without login. And this time, we're not going to use our full dashboard. We're going to use our reports from earlier. So let's choose these 3 reports or 4 reports. So we've got the 4 reports, and we want to create a slideshow with these 4 reports. Click on next once you've given it a name, and it'll give you a bit of a preview. So here's our first slide. the second slide, and the third slide, and finally the fourth slide. And we can again put a slide interval time, so 25 seconds with an auto play, and we can include those social widgets. So this time when we copy the link, we're going to send out our slides to the people who are in the meeting and click on the link, or indeed we could use these, instead of PowerPoint, we can actually go out to the meeting, and this is just a link that we use, so any PC will do, or you don't have to connect up your laptop, whatever it is. And then we can just go through the slides, and then are available and live, complete with our user filters when we're actually presenting. So here we go. Okay. And that's filtered the report down. So what I'm going to do is I'll share this link with you as well. So let's go back here and copy this link so you can have a play with that one. And send that to everybody. And click on close. Okay. So let's go back to our dashboard. So we've covered sharing it public and making the URL, emailing it out immediately, and editing the email schedules if you wanted to go out weekly or monthly or daily. The URL and permalink is the same as making it public, but a simpler form, and then the slideshow. Okay, so that is pretty much covered everything that we have to show you on the dashboards. So we started with adding the widgets, which are these are the basic widgets that I've shown you. There are some more complex ones which you can have a play with and add in a little bit more details like comparators. We've then shown you how to add in the user filters. So these are the user filters at the top here. And don't forget, when you're in edit mode, it will auto add the user filters from any reports that you drag in. You can uncheck that so you can keep control of the user filters at the top here. And then adding in our reports that we did last time, really just click and drag. So just select the report that you want to drag in and just click and drag and then adjust it, and it will be absolutely fine. It's really easy to do. One of the best things is to actually go in and create all of your reports first and then build your dashboard by just dragging in those reports. Let's remove that one. And then creating them personalized, so adding in your images and your textual elements. So this image banner, the text elements here. Don't forget the form that we created. The form here, and then our comparative images that we had just locally. They can just be brought in along company logos, things like that. Embedding forms, so making it so that you can actually operate your CRM from here. You can add new deals using the web forms that Duncan showed you last week, or Zoho forms if you don't have that available, and then sharing your work. So I told you it was quick. I told you it was high intensity, but at the same time, it's one of those things that's really powerful and gives you lots of options for sharing the data from your CRM. So that's the intensity bit done. Actually, we're going to cool down. Duncan and I are available for the next 10 minutes on the Q&A. So do fire off your questions, and we've got some time to show you anything that might come up. So let's now cover off what's coming up in the next few weeks. So upcoming 1 hour workouts, we have the mobile app next week, which we do get lots of questions on. That'll be a combo of like screenshots and also some live mobile app. Doing the live mobile app is always interesting when it comes to presenting. So we'll have some slideware for you as well to back that up. We're then going into the first of our new features. So we've got a couple of new features that have been introduced to CRM. We're going to be covering wizards and segmentation. The importing data one, that comes up all the time in our advanced support, how to import data and how to get CSVs into there and so on. So we're going to cover off that for you. And also Blueprint, which we do deploy. It can be complex. That's one for the business owners and administrators to have a look at. And then Dunk covers GDPR. He covers that really well, just to make sure you understand how it works in your CRM. And then we're going to cover scoring your leads. So they're going to happen over the next couple of months with our workouts, which hopefully the people who come on regular are still enjoying, and our newbies today have enjoyed today's workout. So let's just bring up the last slide. Thank you very much for attending today. If you have any requests as part of the follow-up from this, then As clients, you're always welcome to send to support@targetcloud.co.uk. Or you can schedule a further one-to-one session with Duncan, who'll run you through what we've covered today. We always like our reviews, so if you can go to targetcloud.co.uk/reviews, and I'll paste that one into the chat window for you. Now it's in view mode, I'll paste that in there. And then follow us on LinkedIn if you can as well. So let me just put in that review link. So thank you very much if you do leave that. Other than that, thank you for attending. You are free to go from this workout, or you can stay around and get involved with the interactive Q&A. But thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Bye-bye.